Another month is ending and rent is coming due. For weeks, KX News has been following efforts by groups like the ACLU to convince the governor to freeze evictions during this pandemic. Tonight we have the details of new potential help from the state and the story of a man in Williston being forced out of his home.
Pushing me out during the middle of a pandemic is highly likely to end up resulting in my demise.
James Schrader was notified at the beginning of April that he was being evicted from the place he's called home since 2018. He says he has no issues paying his rent, and he's even offered to pay multiple months in advance to be allowed to stay through the pandemic. He's considered high risk. He has asthma, obesity, hypertension, and will turn 60 this fall.
I'd like somebody to kind of just say, James, you don't have to go. We understand that your situation is potentially lethal for you. And that's just not happening.
Advocacy groups like the ACLU have been asking Governor Burgum to implement an eviction moratorium to keep people in their homes during the crisis. Dane DeCray says he thinks people who are asked to not go to work to prevent the spread of coronavirus shouldn't be at risk for eviction.
This doesn't sound like North Dakota nice. I get that it has to be a business decision, but in this pandemic, when other people are making sacrifices, it doesn't necessarily seem fair to me that we expect some to make sacrifice, but not others.
Governor Burgum says he's not interested in a moratorium. He says stimulus checks and boosts to unemployment assistance should make up for lost income. And he says there are other reasons that property owners should be allowed to pursue evictions.
If you've got someone who's running illegal activity, I would say the people that own property also have rights, and they have to have access to due process themselves. And so I think, again, I trust our courts and their judgment.
Just an hour ago, the state announced a rent bridge program meant to help people stay in their homes if they're struggling to afford rent. More details are expected on that program this Saturday. In the meantime, Schrader and other residents in Williston are left looking for new places to call home.
I'm not the only one. It just turns out I'm the one that decided to say something. It isn't to hurt anybody. It's to help make better decisions and a better government, and frankly, a better North Dakota, which I would like to continue to be part of.
Reporting for KX News, I'm Caressa Stinchcomb.
And we tried reaching out to the property owner, Target Hospitality, but the number and extension did not work. It actually hung up once the extension was entered.
Today, the North Dakota